The Indian car market is growing, that too at a rapid pace. But unfortunately, even though automakers are putting their very best effort forward, some of these cars are not selling as per expectations because expectations can sometimes be far from reality. Here are 7 cars that should have sold in better numbers. Number 7. Toyota sells around 3000 units of the Fortuner every month, which is fantastic. But unfortunately, all its rivals combined don't even sell half as much. For instance, the Jeep Meridian sells under 500 units a month. Meanwhile, the MG Gloster sells under 300 units a month. But the car which definitely deserves to sell in better numbers happens to be the Mahindra Alturas G4, which sells under 100 units a month. This is actually a fantastic car, offers good amount of space, looks quite nice, and then is also better than the Fortuner in some ways or the other. In fact, it also has a lot of Mercedes bits inside it, but that doesn't matter because the Alturas G4 just does not sell. And the funny part is that the price gap between the top and Mahindra flagship models like the XUV 700 and the Scorpio N compared to the Alturas G4's lower variants isn't that much. Plus, you get to drive your car tomorrow because waiting period isn't sky high like in the case of the Scorpio N and the XUV 700. Yet most people don't even consider it, which is quite shocking. And when compared to the Fortuner, the price gap is around 6 to 7 lakhs, and when you factor in discounts, the price gap is 10 lakhs plus. Yet the Alturas G4 doesn't sell. Number 6. Toyota sells around 7000 units of the Innova every month. Now that is set to change because diesel isn't available right now. But if you pay a bit more, rather a lot more, you can get a lot more car for your money, which happens to be the Kia Carnival. This van sells under 300 units a month, and I definitely feel it deserves to sell better because it's a very spacious car, drives and rides better than the Innova, and also is a family car in the real sense because it's premium, it has a lot of features, it's easy to drive thanks to the monocoque chassis, and is powered by a diesel engine which is frugal yet powerful. The Carnival is a very practical car, and I know that Kia is still selling us the old generation model, but when the new generation model is launched in India, I hope it gets the sales it really deserves. Number 5. The second coming of the Santro hasn't been well received. Even though Hyundai was selling around 2000 units a month, they decided to discontinue it because it could not recreate the success of the older Santro Zing. Now there are a few reasons why the Santro failed to sell. Firstly, the pricing was on the premium side, and then people thought that by paying a little bit more, you would get the i10, which is a lot more car for the money. I also feel that the absence of the Santro for 3 years, which happens to be 2015 to 2018, the gap between the two generations of the Santro resulted in the Santro's popularity actually going down, and in that time, Maruti made a strong foothold of the WagonR in the Indian market because people who were looking for headroom, rattles or a cab went to the WagonR. I know the new WagonR is a lot better, but the old WagonR does rattle quite a lot. Number 4. Now this car actually was supposed to save the car brand from exiting India, and it just did not manage to do so. Thankfully, the car brand did not quit. I am talking about the Kicks, which was Nissan's make or break it model for India, and it just failed to sell. Thankfully, the Magnite saved the day. While the Kicks isn't discontinued yet, it sells under 100 units a month. So why did the Kicks actually fail? It's a fantastic car, right? Very good ride and handling balance because of the B0 platform on which it is underpinned, which also is shared with the Duster. Well, the problem was Nissan actually priced it at a premium, under-equipped it. The competition is really strong in this segment with the Hyundai Creta being very strong. And then later, when it was time to upgrade to BS6 emission norms, Nissan decided to drop the diesel engine from the Kicks, which was very frugal. And the regular petrol version is obviously a gas guzzler, especially the turbo. Number 3. Now this car is an all-new car in the real sense. It uses a new engine, a new chassis, a new design, new mechanicals. Everything is absolutely new. In fact, it is from an Indian car company, yet it hasn't been engineered in India because the car I'm talking about was engineered in Michigan from Mahindra's North American Technical Center, the Marazzo. This is the car which was made grounds up. Mahindra put in all their effort to make this MPV, which unfortunately sells around 200 units a month. 213 units in October 2022, which is quite less. In fact, this car has a world first ladder frame powering the front wheels. Where do you see such things? Nowhere. And that was the uniqueness of the Marazzo. The Marazzo has been positioned bang in between the Ertiga and the Innova, so someone who doesn't want an Ertiga and cannot stretch to the Innova can opt for the Marazzo. Unfortunately, there are very few people like this because I simply cannot understand why did the Marazzo not sell. Probably one of the reasons is that Mahindra is known for SUVs and the Marazzo isn't one. Number 2, easily the most practical hatchback you can get in India right now, but the lackluster petrol engine and the discontinuation of the diesel engine has led to a sharp decline in sales of the Honda Jazz. Honda is selling under 500 units of the Jazz every month. In fact, in October 2022, they sold just 197 units of the Jazz, and that car is on its way out. The Jazz being sold in India is already discontinued globally because a new generation model has been launched, and it's been almost a year for that. Yet Honda has not brought in the new generation model to India because it's obviously fantastic. But unfortunately, customers can't be fooled anymore. Rather, fortunately, they cannot be fooled anymore because customers know this, and that's the reason for the slow yet sure shot decline in sales of the Honda Jazz. And on number one, it is not a car, it is cars. The JTP twins. For the very first time, an Indian car brand launched a performance arm for its cars. The Tiago and Tigor JTP offered super pocket rocket fun, but unfortunately, the effort from Tata Motors was very lackluster. They did not invest any time or money in distribution or marketing. Both these cars were barely available, so naturally, sales numbers are also not available. And then obviously, whatever sales were reported under the Tiago and Tigor brands respectively, which means that you can't really point out if the JTP variants have sold much, but I haven't seen any on the road yet. Powering these cars was a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder petrol engine, which is obviously turbocharged, and then got a shot in the arm with upgraded output, resulting in 114 PS of power and 150 Newton meters of torque. The result is that the Tiago went from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 10 seconds. Yes, the Tiago JTP was that fast. The price too was mouth-watering, 6.4 lakhs on-road Mumbai for the Tiago. Meanwhile, the on-road price for the Tigor JTP was just 7.5 lakhs. Now this was obviously 4 years back. Car prices have really increased after that. If you own any of these 7 cars, do let me know in the comment section below what are the pros and cons of these particular cars. And if you don't own these cars, you can still do that by leaving a comment below. पसंद आया तो like करो, share करो, subscribe करो, कुछ नहीं करने वाला.